Hi, good morning, everyone. ISC Square Delhi-NCR chapter welcomes you on behalf of ISC Square Delhi-NCR chapter. Uh, Myself, Paramveer Singh, hosting this webinar, and I have invited Mr. Harpreet Singh Arora to give us a presentation on malware. Uh, Let us welcome Mr. Harpreet Singh. Thank you, Harpreet, for joining us. Please start. Harpreet, we cannot hear you. Preet, we cannot hear you. Yeah, unmute. Yes.
All right. Good morning to all of you. Welcome you to today's session of learning. I can't promise it would be just 1 hour or more than that. So uh, we all have once at least once gone through this thing called malware. Today we are gathered together to know what this malware is. How can we deal with it? Do we require any hefty tools to work on it? Can we all do it? Are there any freewares which are present in the market? Or it could be done only by security analysts? So we will be answering your doubts along with providing our insights. I have tried to cover the entire audience, means from the fresher to the experienced one, so that no one would think that it's bouncer for me. If it feels too easy for you, that means it's for freshers. If it is too tough for you, that means I've tried not to make it too tough. But yes, if you think it is more into process side, that means somewhere the professionals are included here. So I would like to thank you for your understanding. Before we start, the topic we are going to talk about is unmasking malware. And it is not just the theory part. We will go through the tools and techniques that are helpful for analyzing what these malwares are capable of. Now, why we are studying it in the first place? What is the need of it? The use case that I want to talk about here is malware is not just one system. Means I am sitting at the home, my mobile phone or any of the asset laptop gets infected. No, the game is huge. I'm not sure how many of you have heard about Stuxnet. Stuxnet was one of the malware deployed by one country into another country's systems to stop it from being nuclear superpower. Yes, you guessed it right. I'm talking about US and Iran. So it's not limited to just systems. It's not just limited to companies. It is the power game between countries too. So that's where malwares have their use. Without wasting much of your time, let's start with a little introduction of malware, how malware works, and what malware is. We have already discussed that it is something, any program or any software which could be fatal to your systems. What are the intentions? Malwares are generally not made with very good intentions. It The ultimate goal of infecting any system with malware is to gain access, to gain control over those systems, to get the data out of it, because not every data is waste. uh, it could have something informative, even if uh, even if your school card sheet, your Aadhaar card, uh, mark sheet, something like that. Everything has something important. Your address, your contact number, date of birth, all these are important informations. That's why these are covered with local administrative standards. In Europe, it is GDPR. DPDP is for India. How malware works? First of all, your system gets infected, the initial entry of the malware into your system. Then it finds a safe place. So it cannot just start working. It first have to arrange its suitable column. So it ensures it remains active and undetected in the system. Then it executes. It's execute without letting you know, because even the malware developers and the attackers know the companies are having great tools like EDR systems. Sentinel-1 is there, CrowdStrike is there, other systems are there. Command and control. Once it gets it place, it executes. And for execution nowadays, they even don't require human interaction. Trojans are one example of it. Command, your system is now getting controlled by someone sitting outside. So you'll see that interaction, that communication. If you use some packet sniffer tools like Wireshark, would be easy to see the communication of your file with something which is not expected. It is communicating to www.example.com, which has nothing to do with your business or your teamwork. So that's where command and control works. Then the final goal is either access, stealing data, or ransom. Ransomware is another form of malware which talks about how to get data out of the files that they have made hostage. Malware says worms, trojans, ransomware, spywares, and adwares. When we talk about viruses, they infect and replicate through files. One system gets infected, other systems are in equally danger because they replicate through files. Worms, they are self-replicating, they spread across networks. Trojans, they are disguised as actual software, but they are having some payloads. So that malicious thing which is inside that packet, it's called payload. Ransomware, it encrypts file and demands a ransom for decryption. Spyware, uh, you know, Pegasus was in the news in recent times. So that's one of the spyware which steals sensitive information. It might be in your phone and you might never know that someone is using spyware to steal the information from your system. It could be, the information could be in text format, in audio format. Adwares, uh, there was a time when we would download files, or illegal, we would download movies or songs from uh, proxy sites. I remember there was .dj and other websites. So you have to search for the real download. You don't know what download you have to click to get the intended file. If you click on some other download, another file is downloaded. Generally, these .apk files are intentionally placed there so that a little click here and there and you are now victim of malwares. Why are we doing malware analysis? It identify and understand malware behaviors to prevent our system from getting infected. We have to create a response and the understanding and origin and intent behind those attacks. Very important thing. Uh, it's not after the execution of the file you know that okay, this was bad. There are tools, there are some techniques with which you could know that the file is malicious without even opening it. I'm not saying just by checking that it is .pdf you will simply click on it and boom, it was .exe and it is uh, now infecting your systems, the connected systems. No, there are few tools which we will go through now in a few minutes to know what is the difference between static and dynamic. Static is when you are not touching the file, you're not executing it, you're not click on play, and still you know that okay, these are the intentions behind this file. And then there is dynamic. In dynamic, the example that I provided earlier, the CNC part, where your file is talking to someone in the background. That's after you click on it, uh, you saw it is interacting. After that interaction, after the human click or human interaction, now when it is talking to some other controller in the background, that is dynamic analysis. Then there is automated, which says the run the suspicious file in automated analysis environment. This is one and for most important thing whenever you are dealing with malware analysis. You don't have to just download it on your main system. There is a safe environment which we call lab environment or sandbox environment. Better we call sandbox environment, so that even if it was a crucial file, means devastating file, it would not impact your system. It would just in fact uh, impact that system, the sandbox environment or a virtual machine, because they both, the sandbox environment or virtual machine, they do not get destroyed. We can reload, we can reinstall. Then there are manual ways. Examine the code using debugger and disassembler. We have debuggers and disassemblers like IDA. We have Gidra. Based upon which operating system you're using, you can use both of them. Static analysis is done using hex editors, disassemblers, antiviruses. Let's start our hands-on. So the VM that I'm going to use today is Flare VM. Flare VM is Windows. The base system is Windows host, and on Windows host you have to download, just like Kali Linux. Kali Linux is for offensive security, where the base is Linux system, and uh, you download Kali because Kali is having all the offensive applications already downloaded in it. Similarly, here the base system is Windows, and Flare VM is just collection of tools that you would require to get the details or to do the malware analysis as a scientist, as malware analyst. So first of all, we were talking about static analysis. How we do static analysis, we'll start. But first of all, one question that I'm generally asked is, Harpreet, we are talking about static analysis, uh, behavior analysis or dynamic analysis. Is there a place from where we get this malware details, or can we have our own malware? If I'm not a developer, I cannot develop malware. Again, guys, this is just for education purposes. You don't have to use it as attack for any of your rivals or someone you don't like. So I'll simply first show you from where you can get, or from where attackers get malware samples. We shop in the market for everything we require. The market in Hindi is called bazaar. Similarly, for malware, we have Malware Bazaar. So in Malware Bazaar or bazaar.abuse.ch, you would get the entire database, or you could upload your payload if you are developing. When we enter the malware database, okay, like every other application, it is checking that I am not doing anything malicious, although all the malicious payloads are present here. Irony. So what you have to do, you have to prove yourself as a human just by connecting these. So after I'm verified that I'm a human, not a robot, I'm inside the database. Now you'll see number of samples, thousands and thousands of samples here. We can get any sample for our thing, but prepared for lab already. I have downloaded my samples beforehand. So there are 485 submissions in past 24 hours. Malware and corpus, most in malware family. Generally, do we have any CTI, means uh, regarding if it is threat intelligence is preferred? I Casper's there are other also, some of them are sponsored. I personally find promising. So one thing I generally being in webinars or trainings is it would be best if you could be present without any distractions for just 1 hour. All right. This drag and drop Kaspersky key portal can file, and it will check files if they're infected based upon the hashes. Now what these hashes and all things are, but our concern for now is this. So it says cyber map, what current status of device is at the top, China at the last. These are the top 10 countries are doing malware related activities. And these are going around the world. Most of the sharing from ransom. There are other features also which you can go through, analyze feedback. Most important, we will do this not in key. I'll show you it somewhere better. So now back to our, we were talking about checking a file. So now you know why we are using Flare VM, because Flare VM is the most we can use for malware analysis. While considering Windows as target, because Windows is the most dead operating system in the world. So that we are mostly thinking about file things. Now I have my sample already downloaded. Download. No get samples. These are my malware samples. All these are packed. Use 7 file. No malware would be just as it is. That, hey, would be packaging it don't know what it might say uh, on the it might say greetings and lovey-dovey words, but inside it's much like intentions. So first tool that we are going to use, what inside file, and we'll start analysis, execute files. We will just go through the content of the file without clicking on it, without checking. The very first thing that we are going to use is PE view. And so that using today. But I want to know the hash file. I'll use hash my files. Your we have our name. They have the hashes. Even if they change their name, the hashes remain the same. In the same till there is any change input. So if the hash value is like c.com abdefgh, this is the hash value, for example. If a full stop inside the file, the hash value will change drastically. It will now be yzabcdefgh. Try put changes. So no, the authentic file, the integrate file. Look, if before and hash values they match, that means the file is empty. And let's open any file. In downloads, we have samples and say this is the file. So you see 5 SHA2 value, these are all hash values of these files. Either you want to know SHA2 and till there is any change in the file, hash. That thing, just like us, files also have signatures. So signature based attacks, because now it is evolving now with the AI, the things are evolving. Signature based attack are less. They don't now attack the file system. Now they attack memory system, which is the new way of attacking systems, because now they won't leave any trace in the file system, but in the memory system, because it's still prevalent. The file based attacks are still prevalent. We are studying it. Okay, Harpreet, you talked about file systems. Where can we find out these file signatures? Do we have any? Knowing about files, we would refer to one site, which was our friend since childhood. That site is nothing but Wikipedia. I want file signatures. List of file signatures, it would give you an idea what files are capable of doing what. Are we checking any file for it? Sure, we will. There is a tool called HXD. Again, easily available. So now I want HXD and Opera is saying download me first. Why are we using HXD? HXD will provide us with details of the file. Those details we will check correlating it with Wikipedia, the list of signatures. Files might say that we are CF file. Natures will the reality. Nature will shout at his line. It's just a sign. Download it. We will run it. So the file currently under operation is ransomware. WannaCry. HXD is downloaded. We will see other ways with which we could get the open system, or do we need to that system only my file work? There are few other tools. If you are not uh, uh, on GUI, so one of the tool is CMDER. In CM, just have to provide path the function. So to get the hash my target file. So what I will do, I will use get file. First of all, I'll enter PowerShell. Once I'm inside the PowerShell, now I'll use file hash and will provide path of the file is C user admin, or we can get the path from here. In downloads, malware samples. So this is our path. I'll copy it. Use it here. And inside models, ransom cry dot. Which algorithm you want? Do you want to know the file SH250, because either MD5 256, and we can compare it to hash my files. So algorithm that I'm going to use is MD5. Admin downloads malware samples, exe. Admin downloads malware samples, ransomware WannaCry exe.ml. So sometimes you have to take care of the spellings that you are using. So ransomware doesn't have an E inside it. So you got to know your MD5 value with another method. You can compare it. The files are, we are talking about the same file ending with C6CE, C6CE. There are a few other methods too, but we'll move forward for other things that we'll be checking. We were doing file signature analysis. So signature analysis could be done using HXD. This is how HXD looks like. Import your file here. We'll open from malware samples. This is our sample file. Now, the starting of the signatures. This is what's inside your file. It's giving you an idea of what is inside the file. The starting signature or offset, we say, very beginning of the file. This is what we have to keep in mind. It starts with 4D5A. If I see in decoded text, I see this program cannot be run in DOS mode. While it is a portable executable, PE. So this is the things that I can see here clearly. But what about, and it says decoded text, it is MZ file. Let's see if the details are correct. 4D5A. Where is our Chrome? Wikipedia. In these signatures, have to concentrate on 4D5A offset. Rather than scrolling all these, you can simply use Ctrl F, paste 4D5A, and you will get it. It is an MD file, as we have seen, but other forms it's available in its exe, DLL, link library is there. Exe file. Even if you embed it inside some other file format, for example PDF or .word, its nature will not change. It is still executable. The idea is a file signatures, so that's why file signature analysis is important to this information that it is providing. The intent or the nature of a file. How we would know what file is thing it is hiding inside? How to debug that? debug that, let's use another flaws. Flaws provide us details of any file. Those details are generally embedded in strings attached in that file. So any of the intentions are shown by using flaws. To use flaws. So this is my target wannacry.exe. This is the same file is in generation. Just add flaws.exe, and I require an output file so that it is easy to go through. Otherwise, if you don't have a file, the content might not, your screen might not uh, show it completely. Floss is now extracting the string, or talking about the easy. So even not work analyst yet, just 1 hour session. If it is 0%, you would have near 40 to 50% knowledge doing the things, and rest is on your uh, will, on your effort, and the content you get outside of this 1 hour. Do keep noting the questions that you have in your mind. I'll try to answer most of them in last 10 to 15 minutes after 12 p.m. obviously. One question, uh, saying do this, do that. Why are we following this trend? Why are we going through analysis? One to that is documentation. To that, you first have to know, do you want to execute it? Because if you know by nature,
We have asked Harpreet to stop the video, so might be then he will be more audible. Okay, thank you. Okay, continue, Harpreet, please.
is it better?
Yeah, seems better now. Yeah.
All right. The last thing I was talking about, is uh, you are telling us that this is the way of doing static, this is the way of doing dynamic. What we are following trend, or what to keep in mind while doing all this? Uh, which tools of what delivering, which tool to use first, and which one we will be using later on. So answer to that, if I answer it not from document, the answer is you first have to analyze the nature of file with you need to interact, and that to by static analysis, and if required will be doing the uh, dynamic analysis if it is not from static. The other answer, which is or document answer, is based on template. So we generally use a template for malware analysis. We have to provide basic file information, the hash values, hash part we have done already, file location and source. You know from where that file has entered the system, date acquired, direction context. Now for public and private, see how total provides us around it, what is detection ratio, all those things you will be right here, intel and pivots. You can also add, because it is Casper's key thing here, Shodan, who is information you can provide here. If you do other OSINT on it, but just intent malware is not deep, uh, just you need to know the CNC from where malware has. There are some Jara match, floss decoded strings. That's what we have currently doing the string. What are the output? You can have that file as here. Was packed? What are the unpacking results? We will see that. Means this is a flow chart that you can have in your mind. Okay, so we have to do what we are currently doing static file analysis. All these things, file size, compile time, I'll show you where you will get these. Any imports and exports you can share here. Behavior analysis would be the dynamic part. If there are any CNC operations, if there is any dependencies, any IP addresses or any links that you see. All right. So file name, these SHA-86 hash, these things were covered already. But this is a way how you proceed from static to dynamic, and you can edit as per your. So we have got our loss. Okay, I don't need it yet. So we are having this output.txt here. We open it. The floss results are here. There are 3287, more than 3000 strings. So this all is rubbish. It's trash that's intentionally there, so that you don't get to the actual thing. Core exit process. So these are some actions: files allocation, get value, set value. One thing that I mentioned was the CNC thing. Is it talking to someone in the background? Control F. Do we see any www, or better HTTP, HTTPS, match case? Do we have any www? So if there is any CNC or command and control for files, you can check it in these kind of outputs. Get user object information. So this is one of the API that I see here. What does it do? What does this API do? We can check it nowadays. It is very easy. Chat GPT is there, but we can also check it on the browser. So what does this do? Microsoft comes to rescue. It provides you information. This is the syntax. Handle to the Windows station or desktop object. Handle is returned by create Windows. So this talks with these things. It is a pointer to buffer to receive the object information. So it is trying to get some information. So some API calls are same for non-malicious and malicious files, but this is not the only check we are doing. Is there any other way to check these APIs? Yes, there is. There is another tool called malapi.io. Not purely AI, but yes, it will redirect you to same page. If you are talking about enumeration, injection, or evasion techniques, say it was get user object, right? But if it was get module or get process address, get thread context, any other string, you could easily check it from here. Create process, what will it do? It will inject, because it is creating a process, it will do injection attack. Again, if you open the documentation, it will again redirect you to the Microsoft, the one which we are already checking. So string analysis provide us a little information about the file system without executing it. So we haven't executed all these copy file extension, get private profile int a, all these are, it's able to terminate a process, exit a process, even delete file. So if it is expected, means if you expect the file to behave such a way, for example, if it is an ISO update, if it is an version update, version updates will generally delete the older files and create newer files. So but if it is, if it simply says it is a calculator, calculator will not behave in this way. So that's a bit about string analysis. If the file is packed, if the file is packed, can we get this portable executable information? Yes, the file, just get the file, same target, or any file. Say this is not exe, is uh, exe for hxt. It will provide you the unpack information about that file. It is extracted with version from where it has been downloaded. So these details. sourceforce.net from where we have downloaded it, and it has been unpacked. So getting the packing and unpacking information could be done from PE info. Do we have any questions till now? Just check it. Guys, you feel free to ask questions if you have any, then we'll move forward. All right. Okay. So next part that we are going to talk about is some other tools that could be helpful in our analysis part. One such tool is okay. These system information, process monitor. These would be used once you do the dynamic analysis part. For static, we have PE view. What will PE view provide you? If you turn it on, provide the file name. So import a file. Say we are importing the same malware sample. When you import a file, you get the information regarding that file. It is a DOS file, the raw data that we saw even in HXT, file signature, file headers. Interesting thing here, it is saying it is executable. So one thing you can do here is you can compare the size of the file. If you go in our data, raw data, you will see something familiar. In raw data section header, it says size of raw data is 8A00, which is in hex, and pointer to raw data is this, again in hex. How could we understand it? How can we get to know that? Okay, obviously, just by a view, you can simply say that okay, the size which is it's showing, the virtual size it is showing, 888A is not matching either size of raw data. How to check this? Just use calculator. Can use calculator from here also. So open the calculator. You don't want it standard, use programmer. We have the value in hex, provide the value in hex, and see what decimal says. When virtual size it says 4 times 0 and 888A, and that's what 888A, that's 34,000 in decimals. Similarly, if you go with size of raw data, which is 88800, keep in mind this is 35,000 nearly. But what if I check the raw data, which is 8A00? It is 35 plus something. That means the size, we have nearly 300 MBs difference. What this difference is about? Is it hiding something which is it not showing? It's showing the virtual size different than the actual size. If we are not doing all these things from different tools, we have tools like IDA Pro or IDA, because professional version is not currently with me. You can disassemble a file using IDA, quick start, malware samples, you have ransomware, portable executable. So we are inside disassembler. Whatever we were checking with different tools, IDA is providing you under a single roof. So signatures are here. All those details with the string values you will get under a single roof. They're good in assembly language. You can set the offset anywhere. Want to check any function name specifically, for example security check cookie. Not just the technical jargons here, they also have a graph overview. So graph overview will give the similar detail in graphical format. If we talk more about it, it could easily take another 1 hour in which we could only talk about IDA and IDA Pro. It also provides you hex view if you want to see the file structure that we have already gone through. That means whatever tools we have discussed so far is one place for all. You can play the local Windows debugger. And that's where debugging has started. Now it is debugging it from file to file, name to name. Here you can see the output in output is here in the output field. It's showing you exactly what process is being executed after what step. You have the hex view still here, so you can compare it. So all the other tools under one system. Now I don't have to go check PE view and other things, HXD and other things. Everything is under one roof. So we have seen the import tables, we have seen hash values, we have seen unpacking and packing, PE view. If you don't have PE view, is there any other tool that you can use? The other tool which could be used is PE Studio. PE Studio would provide similar details that PE view is showing. This was pretty much about doing the static analysis where we inspected the files without executing them. We found their properties using hex editors. We disassembled the code using IDA and other tools. How to identify the known signatures? So if I want to check the particulars of a file, there's an open tool present called VirusTotal. In VirusTotal, it not just provide you details on the URL. So if you think the link in the phishing email is suspicious, provide that link here. But this time we are talking about file. So choose a file. We have our sample ready, malware samples. So this all extraction is done by IDA. It has provided some IDs to sample files. I'll use any one of it, say this file. Virus will provide me that, okay, out of 72 vendors, which include Elastic, Avast, Avira, AVG, Sentinel-1, CrowdStrike, out of 72, 65 have said that this is malicious. But wait a minute. It says it was last analysis date was 1 month ago. So let me reanalyze. It could change the analysis. It could change the number of vendors which have flagged it. That's one thing that you have to keep in mind while you do checks with VirusTotal. It not only provides you an analysis that, okay, out of these have provided 64 out of 72 has provided it. The details 5 SHA1, these hash values. The other names this file is available in, if there is any portable executable. Their header analysis, which we saw while import tables, Intel 386 architecture. So if VirusTotal is telling us the entire thing, the relations and the domain it is connecting to, everything. If VirusTotal is telling us, why are we doing the static and dynamic analysis and all those things? The answer to this is, if the file is a zero-day attack, if it is first time in the market, VirusTotal is not aware of it. No one has submitted it yet. If VirusTotal says that I don't know this file, then what will you do? There you will start the static and dynamic analysis part. Pretty much covers the static part here. Antivirus was the last thing that I missed. Now, doing dynamic malware analysis. Now you have to monitor the system behavior. You have to use network sniffers, observe the file modifications. Let's do it quickly. So, if the static part is clear, now you got to know that okay, this file is capable of doing all these things. Guys, whenever you are testing any malware, the thing that you have to keep in mind is whatever virtual machine you are using, you need to keep uh, you need to keep snapshots. So before I had installed virtual machine Flare VM, I have one snapshot. Whenever if something goes wrong, I can easily switch back to this snapshot where I have to download the Flare again because this is Windows machine without any Flare. Similarly, I have it for every other machine. I have the base always ready in case it gets compromised by any during training, any uh, packet, any file gets my system compromised, I can easily switch back. And this is for all. You should have multiple restore points if you are dealing with malware. So that was another part I want to talk about. Similarly, whatever we did in IDA, Gitra does the disassembler part in similar way. You can do it in Linux rather than Windows. For Windows, uh, IDA is always preferred, and obviously that graph part is the USP. Talking about the dynamic analysis, now we are not just checking the file without touching it, without getting it executed. Now we have to execute the file and see what changes it makes. First of all, I don't want my main system to get impacted, so what I will do, I will cut off its internet supply. So in settings, network, I don't want the bridge network anymore. So now it is just on its own. The internet will not work on my virtual machine anymore. You see, it's gone. But if I need to analyze any process or any file in execution mode, how will I do that? There is something called net. Fake net will provide you a fake internet for analysis part. So now if I open any browser, will I get? What if I search for Google? Fake internet. So it is listening your HTTP requests. It might respond to your requests. This is exactly so now my environment is safe. It will not impact. Although 100% security is a myth. So whatever I have did currently on browser, it is just showing me that okay, this action was taken place. That's exactly that I want right now. So now AAA request for domain traffic shipping. All right, my sample for my sample, which is in downloads, just rename it to exe. Just remove the mal at the part because you will make it executable. Removing mal. Yes. Now you see it is an executable file. FakeNet could provide me with a hint that it is talking to someone in the background. What else I have to take care of? I have to take care of the network activity, which I can check via FakeNet and Wireshark, and the processes. Are there any file modifications? To check those file modifications, I will use system informator. Also, I would use procmon, process monitor. So both of these will help me to see if anything changes after the execution of file. I might lose this lab because I would be executing it. You can run it as admin. So we know it has executed. Do we see anything here? There are activities. It is trying to talk to someone. This will provide you an idea where it is trying to talk. I see some Watson dot something. Operation was attempted on something that is not a socket. So now you see it provides you a hint that there was something which is not expected. Similarly, what we see here fake net is working. All right, what else? Do we have something with ransomware? Or WannaCry? Similarly, the other tool, the other tool, process monitor. You can use filter here. So the process name is from the drop down. What process we are talking about here? Ransomware WannaCry. If we add it, so now it will provide details of this process, which we have, and you see this process has some load image thing. It has result is success. It has loaded something. It has created files. You see here. So made changes in registry, created file, closed a file. Same process. The process ID is 2588. Registry open, closed file, created file mapping. So this way you are doing the dynamic analysis on the files. Okay, so it trying to get a connection to this IP address. That's what it's showing. Very weird looking URL where it is trying to connect. So that's how you do static and dynamic analysis on file systems. Another question that comes as a security analyst that comes to my mind is that should come to your mind or that comes to my mind is how can we make users aware? So there are awareness campaigns in companies. So security team does it, or sometimes governance team does it, GRC team does it. They show all right, have to connect back to the internet. Uh, there's a company called Know Before. They have some simulators which are already running. All right, anyways, I'll use this one now. Know Before, they use ransomware simulator. This is a tool which generally is used to get information about who clicked the link or what are the various ways in which a ransomware can impact the end users. So just like phishing campaigns, ransom is one tool from Know Before which could be used for user awareness on ransomwares. Okay, if we get impacted anywhere, anytime, is there a way to get our files back? So there is a site called No Ransomware or No More Ransom. If you are impacted by a ransomware, you can get the decryption key of that ransom, be it Logbit, Ragnar, or whatever it is. You can get the decryption key from here. You can just download it, apply to that, and your files are back with you. Some good tools. Some few file analysis. If you are not using virus total, you can check it in Falcon sandbox. These are few sandboxes that I want to show you. Hybrid analysis from CrowdStrike, filescan.io, similar to virus total. Then you have Joey sandbox. Just drag and drop your file here. It will provide you a report based upon it. Similarly, filescan.io, your URL or your file. Joey Sandbox, if you're not using AnyRun is the market leader in sandboxing. But if you're not using it, you can use Joey Sandbox. It will provide you based upon your target system, be it Mac, Android, Linux, or Windows. Provide the file, choose the system, which system you want to check it, and it will provide you details. A little more about malware. We have malware unicorn and malware traffic analyzer. Sorry, this is a good site where you can even learn more about malware analysis, have a GitHub repository for testing, and to analyze PCAP files of network traffic. You can use PCAP here and use it in your Wireshark and check if you could see something there. You want to learn more about malware in a story format. Darknet Diaries are for you. It has some true stories from the dark side of the internet. So if you are more into reading things, and a must go means if you are into OTT related stuff or you like to hear stories on Cuckoo FM, you can also check how Darknet Diaries would be. So that was about dynamic malware analysis. The only part we can add is checking with Wireshark also, but just because I have taken few more minutes from you guys and also have to answer your queries. Challenges in malware analysis nowadays. The evasion techniques have grown far better now. Now, even in phishing emails, they don't do grammatical mistakes because AI. Volume, the sheer volume of new malware variants makes it very difficult for analysts to keep up. 0-day exploits are there, and for 0 days, you know how to do it. Do static first, dynamic, check on virus total. Emerging trends nowadays, AI/ML is there in malware. More sophisticated attacks are there. They do fileless malwares. They operate directly on memory. They don't leave any trace in the file systems. So process monitoring or registry thing, dead. Supply chain attacks, the company itself is not impacted, but it's related or its related company or vendor that gets impacted, and that firm comes under attack. A little stats: small and medium businesses are more on the hit list. 68% India witnessed cyber attack instances. 90% malware attacks are due to phishing or other social engineering attacks. That's why the cyber awareness is very important. 69% SecOps understaffed companies till date. The source is avg.com, and this is year 2023. So I conclude my discussion today with talking about how malware analysis is a crucial component of modern cybersecurity practices, helping us to understand, detect, and mitigate evolving threats. And the combination of both static and dynamic analysis is what you should know before you dive into the malware analysis as an analyst. And not to use live systems, use your lab environment or safe environment, sandboxes for the analysis part. Feel free to ask any question. Hope it was informative for you guys.
Hi,
Feel free to
thank
ask
you,
questions.
Harpreet.
If not, I'll just hand it over to Mr. Param.
Thank you, Harpreet. Actually, this session was really good.
Thanks
Only
for
thing
the
was
feedback,
that
guys.
internet connection was really being intermittent. So we actually got disengaged in between. But the content was really very good. And I think that we need to have this kind of session or this session again with some good bandwidth. Tell me, guys, in the chat if you also think so. So when you stop your video, then then we were able to hear you, and we are very thankful to you for such a nice session. And our audience, if you have any questions, you can email to Mr. Harpreet or ask in the chat, or you can forward. You can ask in the group also. So he will be answer. He will be helping
A
you
recording would
out,
be available.
right? And once again, Harpreet ji, I thank you with my heart. Mr. Lavanya, do you want to say anything? Pardumji. So, okay. So, thank you. It is already time has been passed, and thank you to the audience as well who has shared your time and join us at our IC Square chapter. So with this thing, we are closing this session. Thank you. हाँ अभिजीत जी, बहुत बढ़िया था, थैंक यू.
All known ransomware decryption key is available in no ransomware, yes. Except 0 days, every other ransomware you will see there.